Pharmacodynamics is the study of the time course of drug effects. In other words, what the drug does to the body. Good meaning therapeutic, or bad meaning toxic, for example. Pharmacodynamic equations describe the relationships between the drug concentration, time profile, and the therapeutic, impairment, and/or toxic effects. Oversimplified, pharmacodynamics is a study of how a drug interacts with receptors. Simply put, a receptor functions like a keyhole, and the drug is like the key. If the right key finds the right keyhole, then it unlocks what's on the other side of the door, of course. In biochemistry and pharmacology, if the right drug finds the right receptor, then it opens a neural pathway towards possible effect on the human being. There are different types of receptors, often referred to by the type of interaction they have with a drug or drug class. For example, opioid receptor, benzodiazepine receptor, nicotine receptor, and so on and so on. In the central nervous system, which comprises the brain and all the spinal nerves radiating from the spinal column, propagation of nerve transmission are facilitated at junctions called synapses, similar, if you think about it, to a circuit breaker or a fuse in an electrical system. The chemical that facilitates the nerve transmission at the synapse is termed a neurotransmitter. Some common neurotransmitters exist, such as epinephrine, or adrenaline as it's called, norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. A neurotransmitter released from the presynaptic cleft has a specific shape to fit into a receptor site situated at the postsynaptic cleft and cause a pharmacological response such as nerve impulse being sent. The neurotransmitter is similar to a substrate in an enzyme interaction. After attachment to a receptor site, a drug may either initiate a response or prevent a response from occurring. A drug must be close or mimic that of a transmitter. An antagonist is a drug which produces a stimulation type response. An antagonist is a very close mimic and fits with the receptor site and thus able to initiate a response. On the other hand, an antagonist drug interacts with the receptor site and blocks or depresses the normal response for that receptor because it only partially fits the receptor site and cannot produce that effect. However, it does block the site, preventing any other agonist or the normal neurotransmitter from interacting with this particular receptor site. One of the most important aspects of pharmacodynamics is to remember that everyone's response to a drug is different. If I take 1 milligram, for example, of alprazolam, which is otherwise known as Xanax, I will have a different reaction than you will, taking the same amount. The causes of this variability in drug response is really multifaceted and perhaps can be best categorized into two broad yet interconnected categories. One, sources of variability that are related to biological systems of that particular human being, and two, sources of variability due to the administration of the drug itself to that particular human being. For example, sources of variability that are related to the biological system of the particular human being include body size and body mass, because that affects the volume and distribution, gender, chronological age, genetics, meaning pharmacogenetics, general health of the person, physiological aspects, for example, the placebo effect. Sources of variability due to the administration of the drug itself to that particular human being include dosage, potency of the drug, how the drug is formulated, meaning if it is in liquid, capsule, tablet, or sustained release form, the route of ingestion, such as IV, oral, or smoked, if it's a single dose, meaning an acute dosage, versus a maintenance, such as a chronic versus a steady state, is reached. Physiological tolerance of the drug, meaning is there a drug allergy or drug resistance, in interaction with other drugs and other substances that may be present in the body.